jacket here. I'm gonna grab it.
Then when I started, the audio sounded good, so we'll just.
All right, so let's see. Where is this gonna be? Is it okay that that's like that, or where do you think, Pearl? How should I do it? Just tell me what to do.
Tell you what to do.
I don't know. You're the expert at this.
I mean, it's like we don't want it in this shot. Like the best shot
I
would
kind
be.
of want it with both of us in the middle. Can I just put this here like that? You don't really need to see this.
Shit, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Here. I'm so shadow banned. They don't show my content to anyone. So it
I
doesn't
mean,
really matter
it's
anyway.
either way. It's gonna be
this-
uploaded on YouTube.
Yeah,
right?
it's fine.
So.
Yeah. Wow, this lighting is pretty intense. Let's see. Hold on. So get the shadows.
How many subscribers are you at?
Almost 7, or like 6 maybe? 6.6.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know if they took that account away too.
On the YouTube?
YouTube. Is that
No,
the-
they just demonetized me, so I didn't do anything with it. Like until the past 2 weeks ago, I started posting again.
Okay.
was
So
like-
at least you kept that one.
Yeah, I kept it. The YouTube, they never took it. They just demonetized my page, and I was like, well, what's the point then? Like
How
seriously.
did TikTok? Did it?
TikTok has taken my page 5 times.
Are you back now?
Oh, I'm back. You know what?
How long have you been on it?
Couple months now. I'll show you what I do now. And you know who gave me this little heads up?
What?
Torsha.
What?
Oh, and you know how I got all my Instagram accounts back?
How, Torso?
No. Me and I think it was a combination of myself and Tony Robbins' PR team. They have an insider in Insta, and they sent messages saying we want her account back. We don't care what we have to do. And then they took they took Intimacy Insights, Intimacy Master Retreat, which is my retreat business, and Shakti JG in a matter of 3 weeks, girl.
Oh wow.
Because I'm working with an influencer, the yogi, who's got 1 million followers on all platforms. Every time he would make me a collab, they would like, oh, that's her again, and they just take it down. But the post would still be up on his page, so it wasn't the content, right? So what I did is I had Tony's PR team like hit him up, and then I wrote them an email from hell. I said, I have not violated any terms. Here's my ID. Someone copy my ID. I said, I didn't realize that you discriminated against disabled veterans, because I'm a vet. I'm literally got for a medical thing.
Yeah.
I was like, former victims of human trafficking and minorities. I guess that you discriminate against those people. I didn't realize that. And I got all my accounts back with an apology letter from Instagram.
Wow. Let me know. I want to get my TikTok account back.
You should. Okay, so
I appealed it. They told me no.
I'll send you what I did on TikTok. The little verbiage.
Okay.
And then you just did you attach your license and do you have an LLC?
Yes, I do.
Are you a creator or a business? Was that a private or a business?
My dad helped me set it up.
So like your TikTok love.
Oh, it was, oh God, I don't know.
Check and then text me.
Okay.
And
well,
I'll text
how
you
would I
what to
check
say.
it? I don't have the account. I don't know how I would check.
Well, did you get analytics?
Yes.
Then you were a business.
Oh, okay. No, it's business.
So you have an LLC and all this stuff. I'll tell you what to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can help me with my YouTube stuff. Tell me what I should do to get in the running.
Yeah.
All right. So Chad is.
Ready to go.
Okay. So if we have you jump in and be a little reverse Oreo, how would that work?
I would just.
Would you just sit on the table,
Yeah,
or what's gonna happen?
I'd probably pull a chair. I'd pull a chair and sit.
I think
Let
that's
me know. Just let me know.
Okay,
Hold
okay.
on. Let me get the camera.
We might mix this up a little bit. I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen? We're just in the OC. It's all good.
All right, I'm recording this. Go do your thing.
Okay. Hi. Wow. I actually have 7 people. What's up? We're here with Just Pearly Things, and she's all the way in from the UK.
1 second, stop. I'm looking
Okay.
at the camera.
Well, I'm still going live.
It's a
So
little, it's a little
tell me when you're ready for
1
me.
second. 1 second.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about. We don't really know. We've got some ideas, but we're gonna.
There were so many questions.
There's so many
I was like, I'm not even going to go through
we're
these.
just gonna-
I looked at it, I was like, I'll just answer whatever she has. I didn't see anything that was
And
crazy.
I was literally like with my son on a hike, PMSing. I was like, I can't think of anything. And then I asked him. All right, so we're gonna start official. We are here with Just Pearly Things, fresh off the plane from the UK. How was your flight?
It was good.
Good.
It was
Did you
good.
watch any good movies?
No, I
Just slept, worked, created.
slept.
Yeah, me too. I don't really watch movies either. We have Chad at Defund Simping filming us. So yeah, I actually do like to shout people out because people, should get that. Anyways, today we're gonna have an OMazing time because when you're on my channel, it's always OMazing. We're gonna do a little less orgasmic.
So, please don't do that.
No, we're gonna make this so Pearl could actually use some of this content too. So, all right, we're gonna hop on in, and Chad might join us later. So please, if you can, YouTube hates me because I actually teach men and women to have conscious sexuality and to be aware of sex and to understand how their body works. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Do you think that's a bad thing, Pearl?
No.
Would you say men and women aren't properly educated around sex today? Sex in relationships.
Sex in I really don't believe in sex ed in schools, but that's a whole other topic.
But I don't either. But I think that this should be coming from parents that are properly teaching women, like moms should be teaching women about their bodies. Your anatomy should be called your anatomy. It shouldn't be called taco, hot dog, burrito, all these pee-pee. My son knows what his, genitalia is in 4 languages. So that was my question. I feel like a healthier view of sex and sexuality in the home should be taught so that we don't have all these young women out there just hoeing around, being promiscuous and thinking everything's fine.
Yeah.
Which is what's happening today.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I do think that, hookup culture I do think women should be warned about the effects of hookup culture.
Correct.
And, the benefits of relationships.
And I think, and so that's what I mean, is what I teach, and people think, outstanding orgasmic life, what does that mean? It was great, cute branding, and it grabs your attention, right? In the most way. I mean, literally, my friend tried to do a PR release for me to 1,000 media outlets, and they denied all of them, even when they used intimacy because of my brand. So I understand that it can be detrimental too, but my whole goal in really having this concept was for people to have a healthier view of sex in general, their own body, and not feel like this is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's like driving a car. Driving a car can be very dangerous, right? If you're drinking, or if you're driving under inclement conditions,
right?
Or if you don't have a license, etc. Sex is the same way. It can be very dangerous if done without being conscious, without thinking about what's going to happen.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
thank you for the word. I'm a little extra feminine in my words, so I always appreciate when people simplify for me. So that's really what I do with my channel, back to the introduction. And I got, shadow ban, YouTube has shadow banned me, everyone has shadow banned me because they don't like the content of what I'm doing, which is really just to educate people about having healthier views of sexuality, deeper intimacy, stronger connections, and lasting passionate love in marriage. That is my ultimate goal. People think I'm not for any of that. I am for all of that. And there happens to be a spiritual component to it as well. So that's really what I teach. And I think I get misunderstood a lot. So I'm just curious, what's your perspective of my work? Did you probably never thought that without me breaking it down and explaining it before, maybe?
I knew a little bit. It seems like it would be a good thing for couples.
Yeah.
So I thought the retreat was kind of an interesting idea. I see some of the poses y'all do, and I don't think I could. Oh God, I don't think I would.
You're like, I don't know about all that.
That's okay.
You're like, that's okay.
In front of people,
Other strangers, right?
Yeah,
people are like, how are you doing these postures in front of strangers? And I think that's the thing. It is so what I do at the retreat, it is a little bit in your face. I take people through a sensory journey, and I have them to really just face. Unfortunately, a lot of us have a lot of trauma around sex, around relationships, around intimacy, around all those things, because no one's ever really sat down and explained how relationships go. We go to school for everything else, right? But you never go to school on how to have a good relationship or how to have good sex in a healthy way. You don't do that. The only way you have that is what was modeled. And unfortunately for most people, what's been modeled has been detrimental. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, you come from a good family, but that is rare.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
I think that's what people forget today is we lead I'm a mom, so it's not what you say, it's what you do. Because my son will do things and I'll be like, how did you know this? And it's he watches me.
Right.
And so parents think by staying together and fighting, that's the best option because they're staying together and fighting. And although I am for the family union to survive and preserve, I don't believe that if there's that kind of animosity that can be healthy, that there has to be something, solved.
Yeah. No, I think if there's fighting, you should definitely find a way to fix it.
Find a way to fix it.
Yes.
But there's so many therapists, all kinds of things,
Yeah.
both Eastern and Western. There's a lot of things you can try.
Yes.
But I was looking at some stats that said it takes about 6 years before couples will actually even consider help when they're having challenges. I was looking, the Gottman Institute, which is great for, you would love it because I know you're really into stats and stuff. I'm not so much because I'm not a numbers girl, but you should look up Dr. Gottman and stuff. He's got great.
It's interesting because I think marriages last like 8 years.
Correct.
On average.
So they're like on 8 years, and then on the second one, it's like if on the second marriage, it's 60% chance it's going to fail. And with that being said, they say that second marriage will not make between that 6 and 8 year, benchmark. So by the time they're getting to we're going to seek help, it's over.
Right.
So that's probably a lot of the problems, but. Yeah, so anyway, that was the long intro. So we're going to dive into some great questions today. And if you guys, they can ask questions too, right? If they have something.
Yeah, they can ask questions in the chat.
I guess I've sort of been monetized again, but I don't know if I reset up my super chat stuff.
It's under super chat.
Yes, I am a YouTube virgin, so Pearl is going to pop my cherry tonight. I'm gonna be as mildly inappropriate as I can, so she's not super uncomfortable. Okay, so. So let's start with this one. I think, my question is, what do you think about marriage today? Why do you think that so many men are unsatisfied in marriage today?
I think as men get a bad deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, tell us more about the bad deal.
Well, it's like they're signing a contract that women are paid to leave. So it's like, and then there's a 50%, maybe 40% divorce rate.
I actually checked. It's a 44.
44.
Which is such a lucky and auspicious number.
Yeah, 40. I mean, that's still not great. And then on top of that, men's mating strategy is purity and youth. And the average age of first marriage in the UK is 31, and here it's 27, 28. You're not pure or youthful.
No, and I was checking on stats on what is the biggest age decipher of marriages that fail, and it's between that 15 to 24 age range. That's when people that are getting married in those demographics, they're getting divorced first.
No, I know.
And then next is the 30s, and it kind of actually goes up.
It's 20. Isn't 25 to 30 the best?
It's
like
I think 25 to 35 in that age group.
I thought it was 25 to 30.
Or maybe not. I'll have to look. I have it pulled up, but we can check. We'll check later.
Yeah,
you can check for us, Chad.
No, because that's the other problem. I always say virgins of today aren't the virgins of yesterday, because the virgins of today still have the streets calling. They hear stories.
That is correct.
So it's like before it wasn't as crazy.
I think it's just too.
And there's more consequences. There's no consequences.
There's no consequences, and there's more options. Hey, Chad, will you do me a favor? I didn't bring a pillow. Can I use your backpack? I'm gonna put it for my sacrum. I'm a vet, and I did service. I was in 95 Bravo, military police. I will show you a picture of my license if you don't believe me. So I need support from my lower back.
I believe you. Don't worry.
Boot camp was hell. Can you imagine me in boot camp? No. That's
funny. I can't.
It was like I was in a rough place in life and I needed an option. And I actually did get accepted into the Air Force, okay? Because the Air Force is for people that have a brain. And backpack, what did it say? Back pain is a trial. Yeah. Well, I do yoga to soothe it, but when I need support on the lumbar, and now I'm good to go. So that one was super easy. Do you think that as far as men being satisfied in marriage, and this kind of takes me into the next question, unsatisfied rather, how many men do you think are staying in the relationship just because they know fiscally it's going to make more sense? A lot. And if there's children involved.
Yeah, 1 in 4 marriages are sexless.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we take into account the infidelity, right? That men are stepping out and choosing options. Now let's bring up, this kind of brings me into a comment. I kind of want to go in there and just talk about, why are men cheating? Why do good men cheat? We're not talking about, who is talking about this? Someone's talking about the types of men that cheat.
Okay.
And there's men that just kind of, they just cheat, right? Because they want options.
Yeah.
They just are going to.
They like the hoes.
They just like the hoes.
The hoes are calling.
The hoes are calling.
You can't knock it.
And with options today,
It's hard.
dude, I go on sometimes and I see, like, unfortunately, I go on to post and then I see girls that pop up on my TikTok. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many hot women everywhere.
Yeah,
if I was a guy, I would be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I would be sampling all day.
I mean, most guys don't have the option to do that.
They don't.
But it's like the ones that do, I mean, can you blame them?
No,
So,
there's so many hot women and they're so like out there and suggestive and they're just like, there's options. So with that being said, like men are good. Why are good men cheating? Like good men.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple things. Like one in 4 marriages are sexless. So there's a group of men that like they don't. And I get messages from these guys like they'll send me stories and they're really sad. And it's like they're like, I love my wife. I don't want to cheat on her, but she hasn't slept with me in 2 years.
I know.
And what is he supposed to do?
What
He's
is he
like
supposed to
he's like I'm so
That's
attracted
not very
to her.
long, Pearl.
And-
Some of my clients are like 8, 10, or I haven't had a blowjob. I've had one blowjob in 8 years. What do I do?
That's crazy to me. It's like, what is he supposed? You can't get mad if he cheats.
And then they feel
guys.
guilty. They're like, and then they have problems with ED and PD and all those issues come from that.
Or it's like, and a lot of women gain weight after they get the ring too.
Yeah.
And so it's like
Pop out a kid or
it's like-
two, let themselves go.
Yeah, and I understand like your body's gonna
No,
change after kids.
I'm a
little.
mom.
Yeah.
I'm a mom. I'm 41 years old. I vacillate between a size 2 and 4 depending on what season it is. In winter, you're supposed to pack on a little more weight. Look at this face. You can see my cheekbones.
I'm at like 10, 15 pounds.
I know, but I'm just saying it's not an excuse to let yourself go.
That's what I agree. It's
not
like
an excuse.
And so now, like the men, other stories I get is, I love my wife. I want to be with her. She's a good wife, but I'm not attracted to her anymore.
That's for a few reasons. That can be for 1, she gains weight. 2, I talk about this on my channel and on my reels and stuff. Sexual polarity. When sexual polarity dies, the relationship is over. At this point, it's not even a marriage anymore. It's just a business deal.
Yeah.
It's a contract. Which brings me to a TikTok from someone we both know.
Okay.
Is a friend of yours who it was actually on YouTube, and I was trying to figure out, don't make fun of me, how do I stitch it? And I can't. Chad, I'm going to call you later. You're going to help me later.
Okay.
Because she gave some really bad advice, I feel.
Okay.
And respectfully,
Which friend?
Allie.
Oh, Allie.
She
okay.
gave bad advice about marriage.
Okay.
And about saying what women need to do to get married. And I want to set the record straight, and I want to get your opinion on this.
I'm curious.
This is friendly. It's friendly. It's all good, right?
She won't.
We have to talk about
Yeah.
We have to talk about this stuff. So, and I have my perspective from being on the other side of men coming to me and paying me thousands of dollars for consult when they're like, I don't want to fuck my wife because she doesn't wear lingerie. She's not, like you said, she's a hot mess now. I'm not sexually attracted to her anymore. Then we have people like our friend Allie saying to wear Birkenstocks, a cardigan, and skirts down to your ankles if you want to get married. And I
Did she say that?
She did say
Oh,
it.
interesting.
She said, would it kill you and I already have my rebuttal. I can't wait to figure out how to do it, but I'm going to do it. Would it kill you to wear skirts to your ankles and Birkenstocks? And then at the end, she had a cardigan. And I said, yes, it would. It would, because I understand, like, you don't want to be a 304 if you're trying to get wiped up. I'm a perfect example of it. You're probably a little more, you're not like way over in the Birkenstock mode. Like, I can see your legs. That for a lot of people would be very short, like, right? But you have great legs. Legs are something you can't pay. I'm 5'8" and I have long legs. So good legs are good. I was told you're supposed to show one or the other, cleavage or legs. And by the way, if you want to get more hits on your dating profile, women, you should, like, this is an appropriate amount of cleavage to show in your profile. It's good. Men prefer it, and they actually prefer straight hair in profiles, not curly, and red or pink. So I gave you game. But back to the thing about wearing the cardigans and all this stuff. What I'm seeing is that these men are coming saying, like, I'm not attracted to my wife for all these reasons. She dresses like a hobo now. She's a mom. When I see her, I don't want to fuck her. I want to continue paying the bills so my kids grow up, but I want to fuck that hottie that's showing a little cleavage. And that's, like, taking care of herself. So I think that she really messed up on that one, saying that to get wifed up, you need to wear Birkins. I would rather die, and yes, I would rather die than wear Birkenstocks. That is
Birkenstocks
terrible.
are pretty ugly shoes. They're so comfy though.
And
They're so comfy.
and a cardigan, I actually do.
Yeah.
I do wear cardigans. Cardigan's great. It goes with a cute outfit, but I think that there's like a balance between being 304 and being porn star, or being like conservative, dresses up to here and down to here. I do not. I'm telling you, those guys.
Can we ask Chat?
Yeah, let's ask Chat.
I'm curious.
Chat.
What does he think?
Come on in. Do we need to put a chair here?
I just feel like I'm not gonna speak on what men like.
Yeah,
I feel like you should
tell
ask
me.
the men.
So I will
Hold
say.
on. You got like a little. I don't know what it is, but I got it.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on. I can't be.
Can
seen
you
by
want to
that.
come? Do you want to come
These
down?
two- These people right here.
Okay.
So I will say, as far as getting wifed, maybe Birkenstocks is not the best. It depends, right? So if you're in a town where Birkenstocks
That's
are
what I
popular,
was gonna say.
sure.
Middle
but
America.
if you're, a black guy like myself, a girl has to have decent shoe game. So
She's gotta have a shoe game.
Birkenstocks would go, she's probably whack. She's probably going to missionary only.
That's correct.
So Birkenstocks, but if you're talking about just Birkenstocks, that's that. But as far
A dress down to your ankle
as far as
and a cardigan.
as far as clothing, for me, that's very, very subjective. I would say you dressing like a whore can attract men, but they're gonna put a label on you as if maybe you are H word or 3 or 4.
Whatever.
But for me, I don't mind if I meet a girl dressing like a whore, as long as when we're together, she understands that we have to change. So she can start off dressing like a 304.
Because that's what attracted to you to her, sexual polarity. My point exactly.
Yeah, so she can dress like a whore when I first meet her, but when time goes on, she's not.
You get more serious. You're considering wifing her up.
Yeah.
And I had this happen in a personal relationship with my ex. He was like, okay, when you're with me, and my shorts were like this. He was like, He said, where are you going? When I tried to leave, and I said, oh, I don't know. No. And he said, respectfully, no. He said, I need you to change. And so what did I do? And they weren't like crazy, but they were short to him. So I went and bought some longer shorts. And when I showed them to him, we were just in Miami. I said, and he's like, oh, you actually went and got some clothing that fits you now.
Yeah.
And he was excited about that. And same thing with one pieces. He prefers me in a one piece. So I wear that. But I think that what are your thoughts? Is it like a balance, or what do you think?
I don't really have a strong opinion on like clothes. Like I don't really care what people wear.
In regards to her statement about if you want to be a wife.
Birkenstocks, no, I do think Birkenstocks are ugly. I think she was probably just making fun of the hoes, like we're dressing like a hoe.
Like you're dressing like a hoe.
Yeah.
It was just like that advice. But there's women in middle America who dress like that, girl.
Yeah, no,
and then their
that's true.
husbands don't want to fuck them.
Yeah, that's true. Like I do think skirts down to your ankle and Birkenstocks are ugly. So
That's just terrible. Terrible. Okay, good.
I would have.
And I think it is.
I do dress like a grandma sometimes. I'm trying to work on it though.
I'm trying to work on having a more like a little less sexy was what I've had to do, because even when I'm not trying to be sexy, I just look at because
I get the opposite where they're like my stuff is short though, 'cause I'm tall.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I've gotten the opposite. Like stop dressing like a grandma.
So I'm like, well, your boobs, like the people in the yoga world with my business partner, they're like, your boobs always have to be hanging out. I'm like, I have large breasts. These shirts. The problem is, and I said this to someone who's being asked. I said, I'm sorry, I have like a 27-inch waist, 34 triple Ds, and 39-inch hips. Oh, I'm sorry. It sucks to be me. Like it sucks to have those measurements.
Yeah. Well, we could wear the same tank top and be slutty on you, it wouldn't be on me.
Correct.
And my mom has the same. I wasn't blessed.
It's like, I'm sorry that I have good ratio. I'm sorry that I have porn star ratio, but I am Martha Stewart in the kitchen, porn star in the street, in the sheets, and the lady, most of the time a lady in the streets. That's what you should strive for. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, this is a great question about cheating. I love really talking about the things that are taboo to most. Why do you think that women, like myself, because I've gotten flack for it, are demonized for staying with someone if they cheated on them?
Are they demonized for staying? Oh, well, I feel like, okay.
Or say that my self-esteem is low.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because I feel like if women start like accepting it, right? If like across the board, all the girls, we had like let's say 20% of women were like, and maybe that's true, but we just don't know. But like, let's say 20% of girls said, you know what, he can do what he wants. I'm gonna stay. Then the other guys will be like, wait, I want to do that too.
But will they have the capacity to do it? Most guys won't have the capacity.
But I'm saying, I feel like that's why girls get mad because they're like,
oh, now you're setting the precedent.
Yeah, we can't let all. We can't let my boyfriend find out about
I got
this.
it. Yeah. No, a lot of people in that video we did.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, like, where do we find?" A lot of people are like, "Where do we find you?"
I just feel like to each his own. Like, if you're happy, who cares?
Yeah. I think that though people live, and then they always say that's good for you. When I get married, that's not going to happen. But they're delusional, especially if they're going for a high value guy to think that he's going to be faithful. I'm sorry. I live in 92660 Sierra, Newport Beach. Orange County is the 7th wealthiest area in the world. I'm not saying in the mix. So when you're around here, people like dress with their boobs out everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's normal. And they're not considered whores. And these women are Republicans. They go to the to the charities, the galas, all that. And they still show their body off. Not crazy, but they do. So it's normal. These women, I believe, going into these marriages, they are signing a contract that's basically saying, you're going to find a couple sugar babies. I'm going to raise your children. I'm going to drive around in my range and do Pilates and yoga and, find hobbies to keep me busy. I'm going to have the credit card and I'm going to be at Fashion Island shopping all day. That's understood. But I feel like women today they hate me so bad on TikTok for saying that they're delusional to think that a man is going to be loyal to them. If they're going for that upper echelon, around here, 1%.
Oh, in LA, oh, good luck finding out it's gonna be faithful. I mean, I grew up in like in the 1%, like with around families like that.
But what part of the country though?
And that's what I was about to say. So I think there's two types of rich guys. There's the rich guys that are like high value men and men of value. I think it's less likely if you get a man of value because they're the type that kind of like, tell everyone to F off, go get a piece of land and a wife and don't talk to anybody.
Yep, they're more faith-based most of the time.
Yeah,
which is
and they're more nerdy too.
Correct.
Like the nerdier guys.
They're not rolling around in Teslas out here in LA.
Like I would say my dad's kind of a nerd. Like he's just nerdy.
He's a Bill Gates kind of vibe.
Yeah. I mean, even Bill Gates was still doing it, but
I
mean, it's just the higher up in money you go, the more likely that is to happen. It's the same thing with looks. The hotter the guy is, the more
the women are going to want to sleep with them, and the
think,
more they're going to sleep with them.
Yeah, and I think some men won't. I do believe some guys are faithful and won't cheat. Like I know, I don't think it's the majority.
I think that percentage is so small, Pearl. Just because I deal with, and I'm not anyone other than I deal with a lot of men who pay me a lot of money to solve their sexual challenges with marriages and things. And these guys are prominent members of the community, upstanding citizens, go to church, their kids are in private schools, they built Fortune 500 companies. And they're getting it on with a lot of other women. One of the guys, he's like still married to his wife, and his wife knows, and he has a slew of girls that he, buys purses for, sleeps with, and it's just common.
Yeah, it's not really common where I'm from.
And maybe that's because the area.
Well, again, it goes back to the high value men versus the men of value. Again, I think some guys, like, I don't know, you can just tell. And that's the thing, like, as women, like, you kind of know what guys are going to cheat and what guys aren't. Like, and you can, like, tell if a guy doesn't.
But let's talk about the guys that, the athletic men.
Oh, yeah, they're cheating.
They're cheating. If you're over 6'2", 6'3", I mean, you're cheating. And then I was just on a live with someone last night, and he was saying, or some of the people were saying, well, you're unrealistic that you want a guy that's over 6'5". And I said, well, I'm telling you, from the time I was your age, Pearl, I've never dated anyone who wasn't over, I had to think, it was 6'2", 6'3". Oh, wow. I've never dated anyone. And over the past 3 years, my current ex, and even the other guy I was seeing, 6'5". Over the past 5 years of since my son's been born, 7 years it's been 6'5" and above. So when people are like, oh, you're being unrealistic, I'm like, well, there's always exceptions to the rule. And I tend to think of myself as the exception. I've never not dated a black lead that wasn't, I call them black leads. But with that, I understand what comes with
You
the
understand,
territory.
like, yeah.
And I'm not ignorant.
Yeah.
And I think women get mad at me about that. They're like, ugh, why don't you just find someone? I can. Do you know how many wedding proposals I've had from nerdy guys around here, middle-aged, who are like, I want to take care of you and your son. I'll give you $200K. This is all I want for, like, everything. I've gotten them all. And I turned it down for my ex twice.
You know what's interesting?
Twice.
I have a question for you. Would you prefer a guy that's a protector or a provider? Pick one.
Protector.
I'm the same way.
I'll always pick mine.
I'm the same way. Like, I would take a protector over a provider.
Correct.
But I feel like girls that pick a guy because he's a protector, it's like more genuine than a girl that picks a guy. Like, I feel like the ride or die girls are the girls that like picked a guy that because he's a protector.
That's what we were talking about on my live last night with this artist. He was saying, would you take 5'11" guy provider or 6'8" guy, best sex, everything, you're crazy in love with him but he's broke? I said the latter. I'm all about energy, connection, and love, but most people, most women today, they aren't. And I think that's
I would say.
What do you think?
I would say that's like why like women today are more single. Like, it's probably not good when you think about it. Like it's probably better to pick the provider.
Right, I probably think so. It's probably better too. I'd be
better.
wiped up by now, but and I can honestly say, a lot of women say, oh, I would be. I'm literally saying I've chosen not several times because I'm like, I make enough, I'm okay, and I want to go for that protector. I love that. I love feeling so small next to 6'8".
That's
6'8".
real
My
tall.
ex is 6'8". He's a foot taller than me, and I love.
6'5". I've even dated guys shorter than me.
I love it. You're 6'5" though, sister.
Girl,
You got some
I
inches
can't
up.
be that picky. I'm
You
tall
got, I
as fuck.
know. You're gonna hang out with me, and you get the tall guy because I get 6'5".
I don't think I want tall man problems. I'm okay.
But the genes, the genetic pool. Oh my god.
That's what I always say. I feel like I'm a prime gene pool. I was thinking about this the other day.
But if you're with
an
a
athlete,
guy,
I was
that
like, I need tall
because
children.
even my ex was like, if we get married, he's like, can I just have a kid with someone who's 6 foot? I'm like, hey, this is like for the gene pool. He's like, I want a 7-footer. I'm like, they'll be pretty tall.
Unless it's a girl, God bless. If you're tall, I have a friend who's 6'5".
Girl?
Girl. She luckily she's beautiful. She married a 6'10" man, but I was like, oh my god, if you're a girl and you're 6'5" and mid, it's over. It's over.
I know, bless you guys, that's for sure. That's a hard one. All right, so this is a good one. I got a lot, like this one's going off right now on TikTok.
Okay.
I said on the SOS show that, or sauce or whatever it's called, that I feel like women should lie about body count, even if it's 1. Because to me, 1 is too many.
Okay.
For a guy. Because they're visual. Men are visual. And they see you being effed, but they see that eggplant with another guy, and it's too many.
Yeah.
And why go into the somatics of how many and this and that? And so I believe, and I know this goes against the Bible, like you shouldn't lie, but the Bible perspective from the yogic, like the tantric perspective, is ahimsa. It's like our 10 commandments. We believe ahimsa is nonviolence. Nonviolence towards the self first, but nonviolence towards others. That's why a lot of people in the path don't eat animals, right? The nonviolence means you don't share something with someone if you know it's going to hurt them and it's not like necessarily conducive for their personal evolution, their spiritual evolution. So that's my whole premise. I'm so curious your thoughts because I know it's probably going to be opposite of me.
I mean, I think if you, as a girl, if you want the best outcome, lying probably for most girls would be the best outcome.
Correct.
I personally have always been honest.
Okay.
I've never lied about that stuff.
Or just don't even say, like, I don't feel comfortable sharing, is what I'm saying.
Most guys don't even ask.
Most guys don't ask, correct.
I do interviews a lot, and this is what I found out, actually.
Okay.
I've actually done a lot of interviews on body count.
Okay.
So most guys, their ideal is less, obviously.
Correct.
But they don't want to know because they're like, I just see no
visual, I told you.
Yeah, they just would rather not know. But if they do know, the magic number is 10.
Yep,
where guys,
that's right.
Yeah, where guys are like, 10 is like too many. But when I press them, because I do this with girls too, where I'll press them for like,
Is it between this and this? That's
Yeah, because I'll be like, okay, good girl, 12. Will you do it? And most will be like, yeah. Like, the real number is 20.
Correct.
They say 10,
Correct.
but they mean 20 because they don't want to, like, look like...
Correct.
But, like, a lot of times off camera, I'll be like, what about 15? What about, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
and just to see.
Yeah, so, but I think most guys would just rather not know. I think if you want the best outcome...
Don't talk. I believe don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, but personally, like, I don't want to have, like, secrets.
Yeah,
and I just don't want to lie.
This is what
like,
we disagree with. I believe that there is a little bit of there, and this is why the polarity weakens. But come back when you're married and let me know how it's going. I feel like a lot of the marriage principles that we're working with in relationship, I'll say relationship too, because long-term relationship to me is, it's not the same as marriage, but to stay with someone, for instance, my business partner was in a relationship 10 years. That's a long time. And he's 26, he's Chad's age. That's a long time. Most marriages don't even last that long. So to me, long-term or marriage, although marriage is obviously what we're going for, I believe that there's too much honesty, too much let's share everything, let's spend all this, all that stuff is killing relationships today, like murdering them. It's from a polarity perspective. If you know everything about your partner, if you share everything, you guys spend all this, you do everything together, you're like, that is a recipe for disaster.
I don't know, my parents just didn't really have like secrets like that. I don't know, like it was...
And maybe again, you're looking through the lens of like what you've seen and what's been modeled for you and what area you're in and things like that, and your parents are a little more chill, right? And like, they're kind of like in that area, this is kind of, you're faith-based.
Not really, my
like,
dad's
or your parents are, right?
No.
Okay.
My mom's somewhat, my dad's not religious at all.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been dragged to church by my mom, but my mom, it doesn't even...
So your mom's was the one more pushing you?
More, but I wouldn't, like a 1 to 10, I give my mom like a 10 being like a Bible thing or like a 5.
Yeah, a 5.
Yeah.
Solid 5. So you
well,
think
like
that...
she's like the Christian
You think they're like...
psychic.
And I know you don't want to think about this, and I'm not meaning this disrespectfully at all, but you think they're like passionately in love, still having sex, doing all that stuff, and they've never had any secrets?
Well, I mean...
I know it's hard to think about.
About them, I mean,
But just go there with me, because I want to prove a point here.
No, are they still having... Yeah, but...
Okay. You're like, God, can we change the subject, please? And you think that they've never had any secrets, they've always been 1,000% honest?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. I find that most of the time in those relationships, there's a lot of secrets. There's a lot unsaid. And there's a lot of sexual desires and things that have never been fulfilled. And they just keep it in. For women, mostly women's pleasure in those more conservative families is obsolete. Like the woman is just birthing children.
Yeah.
And to me, like what I advocate for is lasting, passionate, orgasmic connected relationships. And I think that a lot of marriages still exist today just for purely out of children and fiscal financial reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point you're not going to be 60 and like you know.
I
think that's like a pipe dream a little bit. 70, 80, you're going to be
that's the highest rates of infidelity and STIs are in that demographics. I know it's hard for you because you're in your 20s and I seem old to you, but I promise you when you're 40, you're going to be like, I feel like I'm more sexually, when I mean active, not like, I'm not saying I'm sleeping with lots of men, but I feel like even a higher sex drive now than I did even in my 20s.
I heard that women's gets higher.
It's
over
insane
time.
right now. Like I'm like looking at everyone. Chad's my friend. That's why I have my ex. I sleep with my ex. Listen, women, I advocate for sleeping with your ex. Don't raise your body count. Just sleep with the ex. It's a good thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
No, that's why.
Actually, I was thinking about that, doing a show on that.
Sex of my life.
But it's like at the same time, I feel like
I know him. I know what to expect with him, Pearl.
No, I know, but it's like, how are you gonna get over somebody if you're still sleeping with them?
I have like.
You know,
I have connections.
I had a conversation with someone about this the other day. It's like, it's like, how are you gonna get into? I feel like that's where girls waste like years on people. Where it's like, how does that help you?
I see, but like I was telling you off camera, I have this connection with someone else. Yeah. It's more, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's more energetic, it's more spiritual, which I know you guys think is a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Maybe that next guy's your husband, but you don't want to sleep with him because you're still hooked on your ex.
Well, sometimes, and again, I'm the exception, so you can't take me because the guy that guy could be, but right now he's in a monk phase where he's celibate.
Oh, okay.
And he's 25.
Oh, okay.
So, and he doesn't expect me to wait. So I was like, again, you guys, I am the exception. So like you don't hear about 25 celibate 6'5" men. That's a rare thing. But so what I'm saying is, I do agree with what you're saying. Don't stay with the ex and get hung up on them when you could be opening a door for
I just think as women, like we can't really, like I'm just thinking if I was still sleeping with my ex-boyfriend, like I would still be, attached.
On a level, but I'm telling you, if the door opens and with other, celibate man, like I would cut things off.
Okay. Yeah.
You're like, let's see, let me hear about this.
I just think it's harder as a girl to like
it is harder
to really be open to the next guy and I feel like men can kind of sense when your attention's like towards someone else.
I do agree.
I don't think men are dumb.
No, and women know this as well too. Women can tell if
there's
sorry.
You
can no, you're right. They can sense it. For me, again, my situation is very strange, so it is what it is. But I do advocate for doing that versus just going out and having sex with someone else. I think is my point. If you need to get your sexual needs met, I would prefer you at least have sex with the ex, but have certain boundaries. Like we're not going to do this. We're not going to couple. We're not going to. Like, keep it purely more physical versus going out and raising body count. That's my only thing. What do you think on that, Chad? Let's hear. Come back. Yeah. Me? So, should a woman continue to just...
Or she could just not have sex with anyone.
She could do that, and I did that. I did that for a good solid 3 months. And I've gone celibate, years celibate, 6 months, 9 months. I've been celibate.
So my experience with talking to guys on a daily basis,
yeah.
Most men are not in abundance. So by them sleeping with the ex, I think for most men out there, it'll be hard for them to move on. Now, if you're Mr. Player, you're 6'1", you're brown skin, you got curly hair, maybe you can do that because you have other hoes in rotation, and it's easy for you to kind of stay disattached from her because you have other options. But for most men, like
what do you think for girls?
For
He's
girls,
gonna give you the guys.
Yeah, so for girls, I think I think for girls they're maybe a bit smarter, just because sex is easy as calling up Uber Eats for you guys. So and again, the body count, you get judged on that. So I think having sex with an ex can help you keep your sexual desires are being met. But I think it's better to find a guy that you actually vibe with, that you wouldn't see a future with, and keep him as your F buddy. Because the ex, the ex can get you, especially if you have kids with them, or it was like 3 or 4 years together. So I do think if you're a girl, the best thing to do is to not do the ex. But if you're if you don't feel like going back out, like going out to bars and clubs and dating apps, maybe it's just best for you to just stick with the ex for now until you find somebody that you're willing to grow with. Because it's hard for you to grow while taking steps back.
I can agree. I can understand that for sure. Thank you, Chad. That was very insightful. Okay, so we'll move on.
Hold on, stop. Battery will die. So.
Okay, all right.
You can keep talking to the live, but we just change batteries.
All right, guys, we're gonna change batteries, and we've got some good questions. Let me see if I can find some for that.
No, my backpack.
Okay, that's all right. This is actually, the backpack is very useful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, these ones are good.
Okay. I was actually thinking about doing a show on that.
On which one?
It was like, you catch a body or reuse a body. Like, what's better? I was thinking about doing a show because it's like, but I feel like I don't know. I just feel like that's how girls waste like years.
I do agree. I think you should maybe have a cutoff time, like where you're like, okay, if I am going to like, and yes, you can also abstain, which I've done. I've done 6 months of celibacy, 9 months, years. I've done it all. But this last one was 3 months, and it wasn't fun. But you know what? I did it, and it was good for my personal evolution. I did a lot of spiritual practice. But I think that maybe women in that case, if they are going to engage with the ex, they should give themselves a time period. Like, if they need their sexual needs met, and I'm all about women's sexual health and pleasure, fine. Don't raise your body count. Sleep with the ex, but give yourself in 90 days, no more. I'm cutting off and opening myself up to dating or whatever. For me, frankly, I don't want to do that right now. I'm too busy with my son and my business, you know. But yeah, what were you gonna say on that? Is there anything else?
I was gonna ask, do you ask a girl what her body count is?
Chad, do you want to just pull up a chair and choose that?
It's fine. Hold on 1 second. Let me get down for the live.
Okay.
So I never ask a girl her body count. I just judge her
You know it.
based off of how she moves.
Correct.
Now, that's not a 100% way to find out, because a girl could dress like Pearl, have an Instagram page of just her at church praising the Lord, and she's getting trained right now by the
Those
football
ones
team.
are the worst, by the way. No offense.
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. So she can still kind of camouflage, but I think most girls aren't that savvy to like, you know, really market themselves as the girl that's not out there.
There's
But-
a lot of them that do. Remember Nina the Peanut on Fresh and Fit on my episode?
Well,
She was like, "What's that mean?" And she was like, her whole page
page
was like
is
ass
ass
and
shots.
hose stuff.
True it is, but
And she was like all like deer in headlights. What does that mean? And then the guys are like, "Come on, dude, cat."
I think it's part of a girl's strategy to act clueless.
Yeah, but even like people like me,
Yeah.
where you look at me, like I was a virgin until I was 21, and no one would probably think that looking at me, and they
That's
have
right.
preconception of what, like, because of what I work. When if people really knew my body count, they would laugh. But it's just, I think there's always exceptions, but I think like you're saying, men know they can
Yeah.
kind of judge.
I judge you based off of your friends, your lifestyle. Are you drinking and
Are
smoking
you going
a lot?
out to clubs? Are you
Yeah.
doing these things?
I look at your Instagram page and you're traveling a lot, but after your job, you're a receptionist. You know, like things aren't adding up. I check
You're
your
a
Why
followers.
is she in Dubai?
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, Dubai's even worse.
What would you
Dubai's
say?
even worse.
Dubai.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I check your followers and it's a bunch of athletes, entertainers. I can usually tell based off of like
Who they're following.
who follows them, what type of time they're on usually.
Yeah. How many guys are commenting on the photos,
Yeah.
right?
All kinds of
Sometimes
stuff.
I look at these girls and I'm like, oh my gosh. That's interesting.
That's
Okay.
what I've heard is most guys are just like, they're like, what's the point of asking?
They just
gonna
gonna
lie.
know. They're gonna lie, and then they're gonna judge them. They're just gonna look at them and see. And most men are pretty perceptive. That's more of like a masculine Shiva characteristic. And so they're gonna be able to tell just by all the things Chad said. Okay, so this one is a good one. Yeah, let's go to this one a little bit. This one might be a little bit of a mix-up. So, do you think? I mean, you said your mom's like a 5 in the Bible thumping region. I probably know more Bible than your mom even, because I was a pastor's daughter and a missionary's daughter.
You might.
So I can probably quote it better than most. People are shocked when I quote scriptures. They're like, "What is happening?" It's all good. Try to mix it up for y'all. All right. So, is religion? What do you think? Because you grew up sort of religious on a scale of
Catholic.
one. Catholic.
I did Catholic school. I did 12 years.
Catholic school,
Yeah.
girl. We know about you.
No, it's funny. My school wasn't wild like that.
Really?
No, it was like.
There's like preconceived notions about
I
Catholic
think
school.
it's more of the
girls.
ones in the city is my because ours like if there were parties I was not invited.
You're
to
like,
them.
I didn't go to them.
I was like, maybe I wasn't popular, so maybe I just
You're
wasn't.
like, I just didn't get invited.
Maybe I just wasn't
Cool
invited.
people show.
But no, like my high school, I don't know. Sorry, what was the question?
The question was, do you think that religion is sheltering people sexually and that hinders their sexual performance and satisfaction later on in marriage?
I don't really, I don't know. I mean, I think there's like Catholic guilt, like
Well,
for sure. That's definitely real.
Well,
Oh my
let's
God.
talk about
when I lost my virginity. Oh my God, I was halfway through college and I felt so bad about it.
Like what age though?
I was 20.
So a year younger than me.
Yeah. But I was.
So you're a late one too.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Is that late nowadays?
If you're 20, 21, that's considered late. Yeah,
Oh.
Chad? Losing your
19.
No, yeah, thank you for sharing, but you didn't have to, but that's considered late. 20, 21 is considered late. 19 is considered late.
19, 20.
Yes, you didn't know that, girl?
I don't know.
Dude, so at my retreats, we have these crazy questions where people share stuff like I need therapy after my retreats because it's so intense. Like, kids are having sex like few ages older than my son and stuff. It's
Well, I meant like for
disgusting.
my generation. I feel like I was one of the later ones, but it wasn't like crazy late. Like most of my
Well,
friends.
and again, you are in a different area and
Yeah,
school
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Kids are fucking young now.
Yeah.
Because look at
No,
pop
I
culture,
see.
look
I
at
see. I have
media.
little sisters. I know.
Yeah, like
I
unfortunately,
I see. Yeah, I see.
You see it all. You see that.
Yeah.
You should the girls who walk around with their ass hanging out here. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and they're like 12
But
or
it's
11.
funny. It's funny because it's like a generational thing though. Because I remember when I was in high school, we wear like two-piece bathing suits, and the older people were like, "Oh my god, that's
What's
like
going
underwear." Yeah, and I remember being like, "Why are they so pressed?" And then now
Now it's
I'm
thongs.
older and I see the thongs, and I'm like, "Oh my
You're
god,
like,
I
what
don't
is
want
that?
this." But it's like I think it's like a generational.
is.
Like each generation gets
It's
sluttier.
different. It is.
Yeah.
It does. And but look
Yeah.
at what pop culture and media is. The sexier you are, you're going to get more
Right,
viral stuff.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
more controversial. So that's what's happening. But so yeah, I think that's so to talk about guilt. So have you heard of Dr. David Hawkins? So look him
No.
up. So your
No.
dad might have read some of his stuff. Power versus Force. He calibrates consciousness from a scientific perspective.
Oh, is that the Stephen Hawking? No, Stephen.
Dr. Stephen might, is that son or
No,
something? But
no.
Dr. David Hawkins
No.
he's a doctor who calibrates levels of
know.
consciousness from
Yeah.
from a scientific perspective.
Yeah.
So they calibrated, and this has all been proven scientifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, it is woo-woo, but it's not. So they've calibrated energy and like different levels of consciousness. So for instance, happy, joy, they're higher, they're
Right,
like
yeah.
10. But like the lowest ones are like, the lowest level of consciousness is guilt and shame. It's like a
Okay.
0.
Okay.
And so when you said you have like you felt guilty
Yeah.
about losing virginity, this is the problem with most couples, men and women today. They've lived their whole life because most people were raised some kind of faith-based, whether it was Christian.
I don't know. I don't sense a lot of guilt or shame from women nowadays.
Well, wait till they get exactly. Well, now
I see none. I think we should bring it back.
Maybe we should bring it back more. But maybe when they get into marriages, because then that's when all the problems come out, like the ED. I get dry. I don't want to be touched by my husband. I don't.
No, I think it's because they marry dudes they're not attracted to.
That could be a part of it,
That's
too.
by like but yeah. That's why. And then they're saying, "Oh, I feel
Bring
so
back
guilty."
shame.
Look, I might have felt guilty having sex, but the dude I lost, he didn't like. I wasn't like.
Well,
come on,
you know,
but-
and I think so maybe we need to have let's like listen, you guys. My whole thing is shake the shame. It's literally my hashtag at my retreat.
Bring it
So
back.
she's
bring
saying
it
bring
back.
it back. And what she means by that is that as women, we need to have a little bit more like self-respect for ourselves and not be so giving in the community, like doing our community service hours.
Yeah, this
Like,
ain't.
we shouldn't be.
I mean, you could get some of y'all could at least be rich off of what you're doing for free. I'm
Correct.
just
So at
saying.
least people put a lot of emphasis on OnlyFans women, and my thing to them is at least they're getting paid for it. Because there's plenty of women that are doing it for free.
That's what I say.
Yeah, it's just like at least do it for that. So with that being said, shame is a real problem in sex when it comes to like marriages and relationships on both parts. Guys, unfortunately, guys have suffered a lot of sexual trauma too. They don't feel like they can talk about it. It gets really messy, Pearl, when you're in this line of work. It's like the stories you hear, you're just like too weird for fiction.
My experience though with religious people is they usually have I know a couple girls that were virgins until they were married.
Yeah.
And I think usually they have like the healthiest sex life out of the people I know. Because they don't know what they're missing.
And probably, and a lot of them don't orgasm because a lot of my clients come from Mormons. They're Mormons, and then they were like this. They were with that person once. They got married never been with anyone else. Got married virgins, had a slew of kids, and they got bored. And the women begrudgingly didn't want to have sex with the men.
Well,
the men were forcing it, and then you know what happens, Pearl? They go live. You know what they get involved in? Just guess.
I don't know what.
Swing culture.
Yeah, well,
and so because they were so, and I'm telling you, I don't know why I have so many Mormon clients that tell me these things. Identical stories. Married as virgins, boring sex life. The husband wanted more. The wife didn't want to have it. It was just like, like you said, it's all they know.
Yeah.
So then they go crazy, and then they get into the
virgins. That's why I say the virgins of today aren't the virgins of yesterday. Because the virgins of again, you can we're still in the culture. You can't take us out of the you could take.
We're in the matrix. We're not going anywhere.
You can have a girl that's pure. That's why they call it making up for missing out, and in Rollo's book. But he's right.
I don't really go, but yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, because like they're mad they missed all the party years and they heard all these stories for 10 years, like whatever it is.
Years.
Yeah, and that's why, like, again, you said marriages fail between 18 and 24. It's because, again, like the virgins of today are not the virgins of yesterday, and a lot of those stats take people from like both demographics. And it would be interesting to see if like they took virgins under the age of 30. And see like and compare them to like, I mean, I would still imagine like they'd still probably have they'd still have better outcomes, but I would guess like they would be different.
It'd be different. And I think the other thing is interesting is that both husband and wife were like, I really wanted to experience sex with someone else. They both told me these in meetings together. Like I've only ever had sex with one person and that was boring, and that's why we started open up and doing swinging and this and that. And to me, I'm like, that kind of makes me sad because the swinger culture is, I say I'm shame-free and that I don't judge that stuff, but that can be a very dark road to go down.
That sounds like a lot of problems. Like
the swingers?
Yeah.
Oh, so much. But my whole point is
if
we weren't so repressed religiously and people didn't feel like they were going to burn in hell if they had sex before they were married, then I feel like at least we were how do you experience without being exploited? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Where you're just like out there giving free community service, but you still have like, you're having the experience. So when you go into a marriage, you're not like, God, I've only fucked my husband, and that is boring.
Well, I think, to me, it's like, I don't know, but I think I just have a different like view on religion. Like, I think, I don't think it's a bad thing to be like sexually repressed a little bit. I don't think we should live in a culture where we just like do whatever we want to do.
I don't think that's that either.
So
I just think it's a balance.
Yeah, I just think like, I don't know.
Because here's the thing, and let me ask you this question. People say, well, yeah, we're married, and people like to throw around the badge, I'm married. Great. And I want it, and I ask the question, so you're married, so tell me, how's that for you? And I just ask them, oh, it's good, we don't, so how often are you having sex? I did a stat the other day that basically said people are having sex once a week. And I got this from government studies, a few different ones. And people were in my thing saying, that's a lot. I'm like, no, it's not, because
that's why men are getting a bad deal today.
But here's what I'm saying though, Pearl. We're talking about like, oh, I'm married and we're in a successful marriage. If you're in a successful marriage, you're failing. I could have a successful marriage. I could have taken one of those offers and had a successful marriage, gotten the ring, taking care of husband's needs, taking care of my son, never had to work again, never had to put my boobs on camera again. But with that being said, that's just successful. That's not passionate, intimate, connected.
Well, I think you can't have everything.
That's
and
true.
I think life is about choices and trade-offs. Like, there's not enough 6'5" athletes to go around. Like, you know,
I've said that. But with
you know what I mean. So
yeah,
it's
I
like,
understand.
So not every marriage, and like plus if you're gonna be married for 50 years, there's gonna be times where like it's gonna ebb
and flow. I'm with you on that, love. But what I'm saying is, answer this question.
Okay.
What differentiates a marriage or a sexual intimate relationship from every other relationship on the planet? What's the only thing that differentiates this from your relationship with Chad, Auntie, me? What is the only thing?
Marriage?
So, like, we're talking...
Sex, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct. There you go. You said it.
Okay.
Sex is the only thing that differentiates these types of relationships. Because you can have loving, intimate relationships with, like, your friend, your auntie. You can have relationships where you share money, you're in business together, and you have shared all that stuff. What's the one thing that separates marriage or intimate sexual relationships? Sex.
Yeah.
So, if you're not having it...
Then leave, fellas. Leave her ass. Leave her ass.
And you're just in a business contract.
Yeah.
You're not in a marriage or sexual intimate relationship.
Like the government twists their arm and says, put up with everything. Yeah.
Correct. And that is what I want people to understand about like my work and why I advocate for and why I talk about sex and orgasms and all this stuff, because that's the only thing that differentiates any other relationship on the planet. And then if you're in a marriage and you're having sex once a month, or once a week. That's not enough.
Ladies, we gotta step it up.
You have to
sleep
step
with your
it.
men. Sleep with your men.
Put his eggplant in your mouth, please, every day. You should greet him when he comes home.
You know, have you seen Auntie on the show?
Who's
Auntie? Oh, my Auntie Jenny.
No.
She's like this old black lady. She's
No.
so funny, and she'll be like, you show up to your job when you don't want to. Why don't you show up for your man when you don't want to?
It's
And so
true.
I asked her to ask her. I'm like, Auntie, what if he's at work? She's like, go to the car. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
I'm like, Auntie, what if he's here? I'll go and
You have to
I'll
do
drive 2 hours.
You have to do
So
it.
funny.
You have to. I would love to do an interview with her. She sounds fun. Like,
She's so funny.
it's
Oh
just
my
about
God.
like, you'll make the exception for everything else in life to make sure you get your Pilates class, to make sure you do this, to make sure the kids have the perfect, like, I'm gonna be honest, my son doesn't have all the perfect stuff. Like, to me, what's more important is just that I give him love. Love and quality time. Am I the best at like doing some stuff that he needs done for school? No, I'm not. And I just outsource. I'm like, I can't really meet this need. Let me get a tutor who can help you. But what I do give him is energy and love. And that it should be like that with your man. Like, you make priorities, everything else a priority, except the one thing that brings you guys together and that differentiates your relationship from anything on the planet, and that's sex. And men cannot live without sex. Women can't live without presence. Men can't live without sex, period. And so you've got to provide that. If you're not, then you should find another woman, you know, or you should give her like,
well, yeah.
you should give her an ultimatum.
If you ain't gonna do it, let him cheat.
Correct, or let him and
Stop
have it in a contract that you can do that. Like, they got so offended, Pearl, because I did a video I'm from Texas originally. You're just in Dallas, right? Texas is a different country. They have different crimes of passion, all that stuff legal.
Yeah.
So my client or my friend of mine who I'm in a mastermind with makes tons of money. And his wife does as well. And his friend does as well. And his friend went to his attorney and put in a divorce clause that if his wife wasn't having sex with him, that he could leave her. Now people are like, oh, that's not legal. They can't do it. I don't know what they did, what laws are in Texas, but that is what he tried to do or attempted to do. And people got so mad at that because the clause was if she goes more than a week without having sex, that he could divorce her.
As you should, King. As you should.
Correct. With the exception of obviously childbirth.
I was about to say.
And
give her a week when she bears your child.
Yeah, I mean, it took me, and I'm gonna be honest, it took me 4 weeks before I was like all the way back to good, because you gotta just let that heal.
I can imagine.
But 4 weeks is actually good, and I was ready to go sooner.
You know what Auntie says? She says, "Open your mouth." She's like, "You got a big mouth."
That's true. That's true. There's nothing wrong with your mouth, and like. For women, they don't put pleasing their partner, their husband, as a priority.
Yeah.
It's a duty. And that's what we have to fix and change. Because...
See, I do think it's a duty.
It's a duty, like, meaning, okay, it is a duty, but, like, it should, like, I don't like that, like, it's a duty, like, I have to, like, they should want to do it, is what I'm saying. Because guys feel that energy. How many guys have had sex with their wife's starfish and it sucked? You're like, well, that was boring. Or she like, I'm choking. Who cares? You'll go out of your way and get candy stuck in your teeth, and that doesn't stop you from eating it. So why not get an eggplant stuck in your throat? Like, seriously? Like, learn to breathe through your nose. It's actually better for you because you're putting the tape on your mouth, and in yoga we breathe through our nose. So breathe through your nose, put the eggplant in your mouth, you're gonna be fine. Pearl's like, oh my God. He's like, okay, we gotta change.
Please don't watch this.
All right, so this one is a good one, and we'll just do a couple more, and then we'll let you go here. So prenup or true love? What do you feel about this?
If I was a guy, I probably.
Let's get chatting on
As a woman, I'll take what I can get. You know what I mean? Like, as a woman, if he wants a prenup, I'll get a prenup.
Good answer.
As a dude, I probably wouldn't even want to get legally married. But I'm a girl.
I know.
So it's like,
I know. Guys have it's a scary thing for men.
Yeah. But
what do you think,
if
Chad?
I was with a dude and he wanted a prenup, like you're supposed to cooperate with him.
Correct.
Get the prenup. Like, stop it.
What's your opinion on this, Chad? What do you think? Prenups. Yes. Chad. Okay. He's like getting prepared here. Okay.
All right, we're talking prenups, okay? Well, I think if you're in a position where you are out earning your wife significantly, at least by $50,000 or more, I don't know, pick your number. I think it's important to have a prenup because things are great now while you're earning more money and the lifestyle is good, but you won't know that person when things aren't going your way. So I think it's important to have one. And if she wants to have a lot of pushback about that, you have to really ask her why. Because like Pearl's mentioned, a lot of girls know if they divorce you, they get to cash out. So if she has a problem with you stopping her from cashing out, then you have a different
okay.
problem on your hands.
So long story short, is a girl signing a prenup before she marries you? Is that a deal breaker?
Yes.
You meet your mamacita. She's 5'7".
Yeah, Latina girl. Yeah.
Fat ass, but not too fat, so
Yeah.
she's not hoeing around.
Sure, yeah.
Because it can't be too big, because then she's giving it up to the streets.
Yeah, that's
right?
Gotcha.
She's pretty. She's like, you want her to be probably like between a 5 or a 7.
Okay.
You don't want her to be too hot, right? Because too hot, she's giving it up.
Possibly.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
So that's a good question
Yeah.
too. So she refuses. Are you still gonna marry her?
I'm probably not now, because just because. Listen, baby, you won the lottery, tall, dark, handsome, money, status. You're doing what I want.
Chad's self-esteem is great, guys.
Yeah. So you're on what I want, and if most of the time, I must say the girl I find, she can be replaced. As far as looks wise, I can find a better chick, but. Anyway, I'm gonna say she has to be on my program or she's gotta go.
Okay, good.
Well, she's already not following your leadership to start.
And you haven't even gotten married.
You haven't even gotten married.
So she's not being
and she already doesn't trust your judgment.
Yeah,
so it's like.
So let's talk about this real quick while you're here. The hotness. So you think you could be you'd marry a 10?
Okay, let's talk about
Let's talk about this.
So I'll say this. I understand where you're going with that.
You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, so I'll say this, right? So I think the best girls to date are the flyover state chicks. So what does that mean? She's in Utah, she's in Colorado, she's in South Dakota. Why? Because those girls' egos aren't as blown up as a girl in Newport Beach, as a girl in LA.
Are you saying me?
Yeah, sure, for sure. So because I've met girls who are in different states, and they're dude, they have hair on their arms.
I know.
Trust me, I know. So it's like
my adopted family's from Iowa. It's hell there.
Yeah. So it's like this girl is beautiful.
Literally.
Your arms?
Me? No.
Shave there. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah. So this girl.
No, I don't shave them. He's just saying they have hairy arms.
Some girls,
they don't care about their hygiene.
As much.
They just whatever comes, they go with it.
Yeah. So it's like she.
This is natural.
When I talked to her, she was very confused about, or either she was genuinely confused, or she did a good job marketing herself, but she was confused about like sugar babies and like confused about a lot of things because where she's from, that's not happening.
That doesn't happen there.
Right? She's in a random suburb in Michigan. So I give her an 8 on my scale, but she's kind of in a way innocent. And she's not in hookup culture, because in their small town, you hook up with one guy the whole town knows.
Yeah, of course.
So a girl like her,
yes.
A girl like her, yes. Like she's physically attractive. She's an 8 to me, but
she's from Middle America, so that doesn't count. I'm saying a 10 out here because you're in Newport. You're moving to LA. Are you going to marry a 10?
From
LA?
Probably not.
No.
I would like to, if I can, meet a girl that's not from LA. Preferably she's fresh from Wisconsin, and she's trying to, that's my
If you're from Wisconsin, defund simping, Chad, and you're a 10, 8 to 10.
Yeah.
I was thinking if I know any girls from there, because I used to live there.
All right, this is a great one. These ones are quick. So does your child or spouse take precedence? Like, for instance, do you serve your husband or your child? Okay.
Husband first.
A lot of people don't like this. So, Pearl, you're saying that your husband needs come before your child's needs. Tell me why.
Because if you guys break up, you put your kid at every statistical disadvantage to make the marriage work.
Correct. Yeah. And I'll add this part because I get nailed to the cross for this one as well. Here's another reason. Just like Pearl's a perfect example. She's a rare one, but she's a perfect example of it. If you put your child before your partner, you're teaching your children to do that. So you tell me as a parent, as a dad, do you want your daughter to play second fiddle when she's married to their child? So do you want her husband, so say you have a daughter, Chad, she gets married, and she marries a nice guy, and you're happy, but your daughter's husband says, nope, wife doesn't come first, daughter comes first, and he neglects your daughter for your granddaughter.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, are you okay with that? I feel like he goes the other way. Your daughter's needs are being neglected for your grandchild.
Well, I'm off like down on knees.
And I'm not talking about infants or
Why
breastfeeding.
don't you just move it up a little bit, slightly?
Do what? What do you say, Pearl? Go like that? Okay.
Okay, so I'll say this. It's going to be a problem because I'm thinking like which battle is more important, because if I find out my granddaughter is being neglected, I'm pissed off. If I feel like my daughter's being neglected, I'm pissed off. So I'm pissed off either way.
Pissed off either way.
So I'm just trying to figure out which one
Long term, because what's happening is, like Pearl said the part of it, I'm saying the rest of it.
But he's supposed to serve his purpose. So his purpose is before you anyway.
His purpose is first before wifey. It's God, purpose, or something divine, whatever you believe in.
Yeah.
God, we're saying Shiva. Then we're saying wife. Then we're saying children. But so what happens is they're setting now that example is being molded for your granddaughter, and now she's like, I don't have to give her husband a blowjob because I got to take care of my kid. So I'm going to shirk your needs. No blowjobs or sex for your granddaughter's husband. Sorry, this is my channel.
So this is
do you understand what I'm saying?
All right, so this is
it keeps going on and so on and so forth, Chad.
When my daughter came to send me neglected, I go, okay, cool, let me take care of this. I reach out to the husband, say, hey man, I want to do something for you. I want to take the grandson or granddaughter for a week, and I want you and my daughter to go hang out, have a good time.
No, that's an easy answer.
I would just, without.
Okay, let's make it you. But take the grandkids out of it. Okay. You are married.
Okay.
Your wife, you haven't had sex for 3 months because your wife's like, I can't, I'm postpartum.
Sure.
And you're dying and you want to be faithful because you have a child now and you feel some type of way because you're a good man.
Yeah.
You have morals and values.
Absolutely.
Chad's a good man.
Yeah, thank you.
Your wife is like, no, I can't. I got to take care of the baby.
I'm
Sorry. Correct. So in that perspective, but in that situation, that's what we're saying. Your partner's needs come over your child's needs. Your wife is to be serving you before she serves her child.
But I get it though. I get what
The
that happens a
pushback
lot
comes.
because it happens a lot. Like I happens
All the time.
So I get what would
Sorry,
happen.
I can't have sex tonight. I gotta clean the kids' room or do this or
That's
the
fine.
kids.
I'm just gonna just just handle my business on the side and just keep.
So then you are for they don't want to say it because it sounds bad. I'm not gonna let my kid not be second best. They don't want to say it, but when it comes to them personally, like this is affecting my sexual needs, it's a different story. I find men go either way. It's either, oh shoot, I don't want my daughter to be neglected by her partner. They either think that or their sexual needs being neglected. Yeah. So that one always gets people. It's like, and someone said, well, he should be able to provide for both if he's a real man. But that's like an easy answer. We're saying the chain of command in every
real man. I hate that. What is a rip? Stop it.
I know.
Stop it. That's just a shame.
It's just a stupid, like.
It's like women say, oh, he's not a real man. What is it? You're not a real woman. Like, get out.
Correct. There's a chain of command in life, in any company, in the army, and it goes general all the way down to private. And so, and there's CEO, and then there's CFO, and so on and so forth. So in a marriage, we're saying, how does it go? Give me that chain of command. Give me that, how does it go? It goes, what are you saying, Pearl?
Goes, your husband's before your kids.
Right.
Yeah.
It goes something, and typically, and if you're religious, it goes God, someone divine, and then husband, answers to that entity, that's energy, and then to wife, and then to children. All right, that one's it. We'll do one more, and then we'll let you go. I don't know, where are you off to next? Are you back to LA?
I don't go to LA, or no, I go to Vegas tomorrow.
Vegas tomorrow.
For collabing with Coach Greg Adams, if you know who that is.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to.
He used to live here.
He lived here in this apartment.
I'm doing it's complicated too.
Why?
So
it's complicated, like
it's like a channel.
Oh, his channel is called. It's called. Okay.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Who? This is Coach Greg Adams.
No, it's different.
It's a different.
It's complicated. Different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
I didn't know.
Content creators.
Donovan's been trying to.
Then I fly back to London.
Oh, you're going back. Shit.
Yeah.
Donovan's been trying to connect me with Coach Greg Adams for the past, because I think he lived literally in this building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then he just.
I just saw the interview with him and I was like, wow, that's.
Was it good?
Yeah, he killed it. Saucecast.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did it with Hafiz. Like, yeah, he killed it.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it. Okay, so last one. Let's see. What'll be a good one? Oh, this one's interesting. Oh, should we do one of Chad's?
Sure.
All right. Which one? I want to do one that she likes. I don't want to do anything too like sexual.
No, because the one I chose, I seen the topics. It's
Okay.
stuff for the guys, so it's like, what are some first date dates a guy can do? Because girls are more specific. Like,
First date, what?
he did
For
this.
me, you say anything liberal, I'm gone.
You're gone.
I'm gone.
You're like out.
You say anything feministy, oh.
You're out. Okay,
Cook.
so that's the thing. What about
First date.
First date. You're like no.
You got some first date dicks. Come on.
For me, okay. Oh, for me? Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know you were asking me. If a guy, like for me, I know you guys don't like this, but if a guy like tries to take me somewhere lame, I'm like, not having it. And I don't care. I don't care if they say, oh, I'm entitled. I just wouldn't do it. I would leave the restaurant.
Not me. If I like the guy, you could take me on
You'll
a
go
walk.
wherever.
You could take me on a walk.
I'm also 41, so I'm like, come on, guys, come out of pocket a little bit.
Because to me, I understand a guy not wanting to spend a bunch of money up front. For me,
For you.
anyway. So
I've never
like,
had that. I had one guy try to pull that in my whole life, tried to take me somewhere lame, and it was.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and he took me to this place. What I don't even consider. It's literally across the street. Islands Burgers. You know what I'm talking about? For a first date, I'm sorry. I was not happy, and I just told him politely. I said, "Hey, I really like you." He was 6'8". He was a pro volleyball player. He was super cool. I said, "I really like you. I'd love to continue this," but I said, "Can I send you some suggestions of places that have plant-based options you could take me to next time, and then just let you choose?" And he was like, "Absolutely." And he took me to better dates after that, and we did it for a while.
Yeah.
So, but I'm bougie. I
Yeah.
don't know what else to say with that one, but
Most guys I've dated have just been like through friend groups.
so they're just like more chill, like vibes. Just let's go to the park, that type of vibe.
No, I just mean like I'm usually friends with the guy before
you date
yeah.
them. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. How does that work? To be like friends, and because what if like date goes bad, then you're in that friend group? Isn't that like
Yeah, it's usually, if it goes poorly, it's usually awkward. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, we're at the same party or the same tailgate.
Yeah.
It's
It's usually poorly. Yeah.
You're like poorly. It's
Yeah,
not great.
poorly,
I mean, it's
poorly.
good because you know they're not going to cut you up, but then it's also like, you know what I
Poorly,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a good.
You're just
It's a good thing. It's just like
Okay.
I don't know. I
It's
like
just, I know.
comfortable.
You want to feel
know.
comfortable because women, let's just be honest, women have a hard time, like really with dating when it comes to feeling safe. Like we always we always come down on women, but I feel like women, they meet someone, a stranger online, and then get in a car with them and go eat somewhere and all these things. It's, unless you have good intuition, you can get into sticky sister. That's why they make those Netflix movies about these Tinder. I never watched any of them, but Tinder's gone wrong. All right, last question. I'm so hungry. I don't know about y'all, but I'm starved. Okay. What do you think? What is your opinion about living in separate houses or separate rooms when you're married? This is a tantric thing, and I'm just so curious. Actually, in a lot of homes today, they're doing that. A lot of
You know
real
what's
estate
funny?
homes.
When I was younger, I used to say that I wanted my own room, but that was when I was like a teenager. No, look. I mean, if I'm married, like I'm trying to have sex. I don't want to be in a different room.
No, it's not about not having sex. You have sex, then you go and sleep in your own room.
I don't know.
Or you have nights where you sleep together, and nights that he goes to his room, you go. It builds up the polarity. It keeps that attraction really strong, so that you're not like farting in front of him, putting on face masks. Hey, tell me all your secret. Like you become like homies versus like.
I like to cuddle. I don't know.
Okay, but you can cuddle too, but then go back to the room.
Yeah, and I just don't know anyone. Everyone that I know that did that got divorced.
Really?
Yeah, I know a couple people in my friend group.
I'm so curious because I've always had the opposite like reaction from that.
No, everyone I know that did that is divorced now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know many. It's like one or two.
I know quite a few who actually had problems, and then I told them split up, and then they built that traction back, and then they are like, okay, we're gonna do not all the time, but they're like 2 nights a week we're gonna sleep in separate rooms. It like builds. For instance, like a lot of couples. Modern couples, there's 2 family incomes, or there's, one person travels a lot. So it's like he's gone and then you miss them. And then when we come back, it's like, They're
I could
magnetized.
see that. I could
So
see
that's
that.
the whole.
My
That's the
parents,
concept.
yeah, I could see my parents like traveled for work at times, so I could see that.
Okay. Good. Well, I mean, I have so many other questions. We could talk for hours. But is there any like anything else you want to add or anything you want to ask me since we're here
Ask
now?
you. Let me think.
I mean, I just want to be respectful of your time and like.
No, you're good. You're good.
This has been fun. Thanks so much, guys.
No. What? Have you ever had a couple that you worked with that couldn't be fixed, and why?
Oh, that's a great question. This one was kind of sad because I had a very famous couple that came to my retreat, and there's no pictures of them because they were very famous, right? And he had filed for divorce. Or she done at that time, I forget, right before the retreat. It was a last-ditch effort, and he said, come. She said, fly here and come to the retreat. And so he did. She came, he came, they came. And I was really nervous because they were very faith-based, and I was like, oh my God. Like, nervous? Never. And I was nervous. I was like, God, like, they're famous, they're faith-based, they're going to leave. They stayed through the entire retreat, and we had huge breakthroughs for both of them. And I think I got them another solid 2 years, but then unfortunately it went public, and they divorced. That was hard. And what I'll say with that, why I wasn't able to help fix them, is I believe a lot of it was religious dogma and shame that we talked about, the shame. On both parts, and trauma that had happened, and the religion added to it, and it just messed up. Remember this: relationships don't end for lack of love; they end for lack of sexual polarity. Period. Money, time, sex—that's all B-side. Once sexual polarity is gone, the relationship's over. So for them, that polarity had died. They couldn't get it back. He was like a father to her. You don't want to fuck your father. You're like, no.
Right.
And
Provider type.
Provider.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so in the end, it just when she wanted to, explore and find that sexual, like, where you want, and so, and it broke my heart. It still breaks my heart when I see it in the paper, or like see them on the news or whatever. It's just like, but yeah, for the most part, that was like my only failure. And the funny thing is that they're so well known that it was like so public. It was a little sad, but I always say it works if you do the work. If I have two people that want to work, then it works. If there's so much damage that's been done, rebuilding polarity is hard. Keeping polarity alive is easier. That's why waiting 6 years is not good. If you have problems early on in the relationship and you're just dating, get out. It's only going to get worse when you get married, right? Marriage is just like more bills, more challenges, children, hormones, in-laws, religion, different values. And if your value set's off, it's not going to work for sure. So that is my conclusion. This has been super fun. We'll have you back, or maybe when I'm in Europe for Christmas, I can come see you in your studio.
For sure. You should come on the show.
I go every year to see my son's father is in Belgium.
Yeah, stop by London.
You're in London. Yeah, that's a train ride away, flight away, whatever. All right, so thank y'all so much. Chad, do you want to come say bye?
Bye.
Okay, so please make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye.